As I said, the history of mobile devices is that they've been around for a long time, since 1983, in one form or another. I've worked with quite a few of them over that time frame, but none of them have really been ready for prime time as far as field use. Today's mobile devices, the iPads, iPhones, the Android devices like the Samsung Galaxy and Note and others, are finally to the point where they have enough power, both hardware-wise and software-wise, and they're lightweight enough and they have enough battery power that they, we believe, are finally a good tool for use in the field. So that's one of the reasons that we had started working on mobile devices and mobile apps at this point, was because we felt it was really ready. Just a little bit of background, strategic design for this app and other apps that we've been designing. We design basically with a team that has a lot of field experience, so we really try to design for field people. It's really designed for qualified assessor or auditors that do relatively large scales of audits. In contrast, most apps that are on the App Store for $1.99 or $2.99 or $5.99 are really designed for homeowner use. They're not designed for professionals and usually don't have all of the workflow that you would like to have if you're going to do a large scale of audits. We integrated with the cloud for data storage, in this case with Dropbox, and eventually we'll be cross-platform. Right now we're Apple iOS. We will be expanding that to Google Android operating systems as well. And it's scaled such that you can run on both smartphones and tablets, and I'll actually demonstrate a little bit of that. I think all of you are running on tablets, either iPads or iPad minis, which is the preferable platform for most people in the field. But in some cases, smartphones may be appropriate, and it will run well on those. Key design elements, no internet connection required while you're in the field doing data collection. That's one of the key elements of our design. You do have to have an internet connection to save the data to Dropbox, which is cloud storage, or to generate a report. But during all the data collection, everything is local and you don't need an internet connection. So as you're running around the house or in the basement or in places where internet connection is spotty, you don't have to worry about that for that portion of the work. It's designed to be finger-friendly. That is, all the buttons and actions and navigation that you do is designed around using the finger for doing that. So we scale and size buttons and controls appropriate for that. That's, again, different than sometimes what you see as websites that are shown on a portable device, but they're really a desktop website designed for a mouse, and they work well on a desktop with a mouse, but they don't work very well on a mobile device where you're just using a finger. We've integrated photo and image capturing into the device, and we'll demonstrate that along with Google Maps. And then we'll talk a little bit about the summary view and quick navigation. So the devices that we're talking about all have a very similar display, but what you'll see here is on the left-hand side, there's an iPad, and it obviously has more area, so it can display a little more in a single page. And the device on the lower right-hand side, the Samsung Note, which is highlighted in red, has the same basic information but in a different format, and we'll again go through that. Basic information about the display, and some of this is a little bit dated because we just haven't updated some of these, but they're very, very similar to what it is now. There's a list of appointments on the visits or audits page, which is your home page. And those are color-coded by pending, scheduled, canceled, or rescheduled, canceled, and completed, and ordered therein. So the idea is that all the appointments go from top to bottom. You deal with ones at the top as being the most pending scheduling, and the ones at the bottom are those that have been completed. So you're always working from the top of the list. In any place where there's a list of items like this, like in this case a list of audits, you can do a right swipe to delete. And I point that out because there's several swipe actions, which again, if you're familiar with smartphones and tablets, gestures, as they're generally called, are used quite a few places to provide shortcuts. Just a quick demo, or just a quick screenshot is showing the mapping feature. Again, the map, it can be used to show all your appointments or what you've already done, and they're color-coded based on audits that are ready to go. They're pending, completed, rescheduled, or canceled. One of the things that we've done in order to address the issue with small devices is scaling, and this is just a short, a quick example of scaling where the left-hand side is small, middle is normal, right is large, and all we're trying to do there is to show that the device is able to scale, all the buttons scale, so that if you have a smaller device or if you just have a harder time reading the default size, you can resize it, and everybody can resize it to their own taste. On the device itself, and this is pointing to the left-hand side in the iPad, there is a summary view, and that summary view really shows what all the data is. And so the idea behind this is that you have one page, it's a long page, and you can scroll down through it, but one page where all the data is available to review, and then you can also use that for navigation. So this is another view of that page. The left-hand side has what's called a quick nav. It's a list of sections that we're going to go to, and you can click on those section headers to go directly to the data for that section. The right-hand side has the same sections, plus it has all the data shown. Again, you can click on those and go directly to the data entry form. There are other attributes such as the required asterisk that's shown toward the bottom, and those show fields that are required to be entered. You can do a left swipe, as the arrow in the top shows, to display the quick to scroll the right-hand side to the top and bottom very quickly because it's multiple pages long. Doing it with gestures up and down can take a while, but if you want to go immediately to the bottom or immediately to the top, you can do a left swipe. Just a representation to show that that summary view is as long as the data set is, and in this very simple example, it shows that there's multiple pages worth of data. The key element here is that this is a data review page, not a data entry page, but it shows you everything in one page, and therefore it's very quick and easy to go through and look to see, geez, did I fill out the information for the foundation or the walls or the ducts without going to all those individual pages. Again, that can be sized. Here it shows small, normal, and large font for that page. The other thing that you'll see here is that on the left-hand side, the quick nav is evident, but as the fonts get bigger, the quick nav goes away because what we want to do is make the rest of the page bigger so that it's more readable. So it adapts as you change the size. Similarly with the data entry pages, on the left-hand side, the small shows the quick nav along with the data entry. In the middle is normal, and on the right is large. So as you get larger font, at some point the quick nav will go away. So the flow that we typically expect is that at the start of a day you would upload your appointments for the day, and this depends on how your program is designed and whether or not you have an administrator scheduling for you or you schedule yourself. But in some form or fashion, you would create your schedule. You would review your appointment list, perhaps create map driving directions, go to the home, collect the data, generate a customer report, present those recommendations to the homeowner, provide that report to the homeowner either through email or paper copy, and go on to your next appointment. At the end of the day, you would download the Dropbox. So the idea is that at the start of the day, you're pulling up everything that you need for that day. You work through that list of audits that have been scheduled for you or that you have scheduled. And at the end of the day, you do a synchronization to download to Dropbox. And that synchronization automatically moves all of the audits to the appropriate place. So audits that have been completed will get moved to a specific folder on Dropbox. Similarly, audits that are still pending will get moved to what's called an active folder, and therefore is a backup for you as well. So ideally, if you can synchronize at the end of the day, everything that's on your device has been backed up. And in fact, if you were going to change devices, the process would be to synchronize, bring online your new device, and then synchronize again, and everything that you had previously on your old device would now be on your new device. So that's really the very quick overview, and then I'm going to switch here to a live demo. But I'll stop here for a second as I switch over and ask if there's any questions.
I just have, this is Rob. I just have one since I've got the opportunity to ask a question.
Sure.
This workflow data, can you access that onto from your office computers, or is it strictly from the iPad?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking. The data itself is all kept on Dropbox, so you can access the Dropbox account and therefore access all the data.
So Dropbox is like on a cloud?
Yeah, correct. Dropbox is a cloud file sharing system.
Okay, all right.
So all the data is organized on Dropbox by folders, by user, by program, and so as you synchronize your data with the cloud, all that data is available on the cloud. And we'll talk about that a little more as far as how to get at it later in the session.
Okay, all right.
Great. If I understood Rob's question, he was just asking if you could access Dropbox via either his computer or his iPad, or both.
You can access Dropbox through either. Dropbox is a cloud-based system and has a web interface. So right. You can actually log into the web interface for Dropbox on your iPad to look at the data if you want. You can also, on your desktop, you can do the same thing. Going further, you can also link your Dropbox account to your desktop file system. So Dropbox actually looks just like another folder on your file explorer. So if you go in and you look through your computer for your files, Dropbox can be added there, and it just looks like it's on your hard drive.
Oh, cool. Okay. Is that what you were asking, Rob?
Yes, that's what I was asking. Sure was.
Okay.
Okay. Great. So let me switch over here to a different view.